So we meet in the same crazy places.
And where's your crazy place? What kinds of things do you like that are
Well, I'm a painter.
important to you? Oh, well, okay.
I'm a painter, so I can get really crazy.
So we answered it. Now, you grew up in a well-known family, right?
Yes, my father was Gary Cooper, so I grew up in Hollywood, and again, I had the blessing of having two very, very down-to-earth parents. There was no phony business about them, and they set me on the right track, from day one. So it was very fortunate, and we were close as a family. The three of us did everything together, and I got good training for being married to a performing artist because, or being married to a creative person. I think that's probably better because, you have to be sensitive to the other person, and when to shut up, when to not come up and say, "What time do you want dinner, dear?" You have to heck with what time dinner is. Let it burn. We'll go out. But if they're doing something that's important creatively, let it alone.
What did your family teach you? What were some of the backbone that you gained from them?
One of the things I gained was a very short admonition beginning about age 8 or 9, which was repeated as needed along the way. Maria, never forget, life doesn't owe you a goddamn thing. And then we would talk about that and talk about fame and all of the froth and all of the wonderful things that have come along in your life. That comes with your father's business, and it's wonderful. And whatever you want in your life, you've got to make your own choices and work to make your own benefits or the life that you want to have. So they were very down to earth. I was spoiled, but not spoiled.
And the career of acting, with such a great success in your family, it didn't appeal to you, or did you try at some point?
No, I never tried. I observed, because I was around a lot of my parents' friends. I observed that it seemed to be it seemed to be extra trying for an actress to create a happy life for herself. And maybe that was more true in those early Hollywood days. I think there are some, wonderfully gifted actresses today who have a wonderful family life, and I think the times have changed a lot. But it was, if it's only based on youth and looks and your measurements, you're going to start getting anxious pretty quickly.
I've had that problem. Now, are you painting now, and is there somewhere we can go see your painting?
Yes. Well, I haven't been painting. I was working on a documentary about my husband, the Byron Janis story, which was just aired on PBS in the last few months. And I've been working also on a project documentary, again, to do with the friendship between Gary Cooper and Ernest Hemingway.
Oh.
And we're hoping that will come to completion and to be, distributed. So that's another project. And I've just finished a book on my father, which is out, I think, actually tomorrow.
Wow.
It's called Gary Cooper, Enduring Style. And it's about it's a lot of family album photographs that have never been seen before. But it kind of depicts his innate elegance and style, clothing style, lifestyle, that kind of thing.
Marvelous. Well, you look dapper yourself.
Pardon me?
You look dapper yourself.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
It's all good. Last question. And is there a website we could see your artwork?
No, I don't have it on a website yet. I probably will. There's no. I just haven't gotten around to doing it.
There's no rush. Believe me, there's no rush. And then one other question. What's good news for you?
Waking up with the person you love.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Is your name?
I'm Bonnie Barrett. I'm the director of Yamaha Artist Services here in New York, and we are part of Yamaha Corporation of America. We have about an 8,000 square foot facility right here in Midtown Manhattan that is exclusively for artists to come in and select pianos that they may want to use for concerts. We host recitals and master classes. We're not open to the public. Our facility is purely for artists, to serve the artistic community, to serve the educational community, and it underscores Yamaha's commitment to artists and to education.
When you say the educational community, what do you mean, and how are you able to help?
Well, as I said, we conduct a lot of master classes, so we're used as an educational facility where we have artist educators who come in and perform and teach and lecture. Because of our facility where we have live webcasting capability and we can do remote live broadcasting that you heard tonight, we're able to connect to a lot of different audiences, different schools, other students, all throughout the world.
This is so much needed, because actually being a musician for 50 plus years, music to me was my growth, my education, my band, my life to a big degree. My mother was a concert pianist, so music isn't it taken out of schools? It's not as much in schools, the bands, the orchestras, the musical instruments when you're a child.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Well, it's a battle that I think anybody who loves music is in there fighting the good fight. But what's exciting is that research is increasingly showing that studying an instrument, playing an instrument, having music in your life enhances your brain. It helps education, it helps your mental health, it helps your emotional health. And the research is really just beginning, and that's kind of the exciting thing. And what's also quite interesting with Yamaha is because of their interest in music education, they've also branched into music therapy, the Yamaha Music and Wellness Institute, which is actively involved in some of the research and some of the ways that music is engaging the brain.
So actually tonight the president, I guess, of that organization spoke tonight?
That's correct. Dr. Barry Bittman, who is actively involved in this cutting-edge research to show how playing a musical instrument and having music in your life really can help your brain and for people with injuries to help them on the road to recovery.
Well, I want to thank you, and I'll have to say, are you saying that the piano that Byron played on tonight, is that possible to use at a function? How does that work?
Sure, absolutely. There are only, I think, about 2 of those particular instruments, the disc clavier CFXs, in the country currently. So it's in high demand, but yes, if an artist would like to request that piano, we will try to make the appropriate arrangements to make it available.
And that's it's brand new, it's spanking new.
It's only a few months old, that's correct.
It is gorgeous.
Thank you. We like to think so. We know so, actually.
I mean,
so we're very proud of it.
Doesn't hurt to have his fingers on it, but...
Absolutely. No, it's a very special instrument. The CFX is in general, and this is a disc clavier CFX, so it's extra special.
Fantastic. Last question. What's good news for you?
What's good news? I think the outpouring of love and support that we can all feel tonight is just a wonderful testament and testimony to the vitality of the arts and to music and the communicative power of music and how important it is to keep that alive in everybody's life.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Your name just for the camera?
It's Barry Bittman, Bittman, MD, and I'm the CEO of the Yamaha Music and Wellness Institute.
Beautiful. Tell us about it.
The Institute is, the Yamaha Music and Wellness Institute focuses primarily on research and education. The questions that we address are primarily based upon how creative musical expression impacts quality of life. And we look at it not only on the psychosocial level, but we also delve into the biological and the genomic elements to really find out what's happening to our DNA.
And so how do you go about doing that?
We set up a number of research projects utilizing individuals who perhaps have never considered themselves musical. And using a series of advanced protocols, we're able to induce a stress state and then attempt to reverse that stress state with an opportunity to play a musical instrument in a creative way. And what we're discovering is that each person has their own stress fingerprint that's unique to each person. And in the course of this, we're discovering that creative musical expression is more than 3 times more effective than actual relaxation in reversing the stress responses at the DNA level.
Many years ago, I had the fortunate opportunity to work on a series called The Brain for PBS, about 10 hours of brain stuff. One of the shows started with Michael Tilson Thomas playing the piano without a piano. And that him speaking, if I recollect, that in essence, not necessarily do you need to have the piano, of course it does have some sound to it, but his piano is in his brain. What do you think about that?
I think it's quite possible. I think that there are some people that are more adept at this than others. I think there are different levels of talent, and beyond talent, beyond cognitive ability, you have a Byron Janis, who is nothing short of magical. When you look at what he's able to do and what he's accomplished on the fly, in the face of extraordinary challenges from an arthritic perspective, the man has surpassed anything that any normal human being would consider within the normal realm. And when I watch him perform, and I watched him play this evening, the first piece from Hunchback, I was phenomenally moved by the fact that not only could I see that story, but I could see his own story come through that musical expression.
I could never have said it better than the way you just said it. I am on the total same page with you. I said the first words out of my mouth is that he knows how to make love to a piano.
Yeah, I think that if you live your life and you meet one person like Byron, and you get to experience a person who's a true vessel, where the music comes through him, not from him, and you realize that that part which connects him with everything that ever existed and everything that will ever exist is really the phenomenon that we call miraculous.
How does the world get involved with what you're doing?
We basically focus on both research and education. We have various sites around the country. We're involved in research programs that look at stress in elderly people with cardiovascular disease. We're also looking at prevention of decline from a cognitive perspective leading to Alzheimer's disease. And we're truly focused on looking at intergenerational opportunities of combining the spirit, the wisdom, the guidance that only a Byron Janis can share with kids who have a tremendous amount of vitality, determination, and energy.
It's very important for us all to stick together and make sure that music stays in the schools.
Well, I think that one of the real problems that we're facing today is cutbacks. And maybe the cutbacks to some extent are understandable because of the fact that we believe that there's a skill set needed to perform or to become actively employed in this world. But when you remove creative musical expression, you remove the part of us that allows us to basically express what needs to be expressed. And a great philosopher by the name of Fred Rogers once said, if it's speakable, it's manageable. And we believe that what's actually happening through this music is a very deep form of disclosure. It's really getting off of one's chest or through one's heart what's actually happening inside. And that's where we transform ourselves, and that's when we become transcendent human beings. I can't think of a better example than Byron Janis.
Because it's beautiful stuff. Do you have a website?
Yes, YamahaInstitute.org.
That's beautiful. Last question, because I know there's a lot of people that still want to speak with you here. What's good news for you?
What's good news?
For you.
Good news is being able to sit in the front row, watch this man perform, and realizing that this is beyond what anyone would ever consider possible for a human being. That's great news.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.